Laura De Silva and I'm a horse ranger.
I'm Laura Bradshaw and I'm a horse ranger.
I'm Lawrence Brown and I'm a horse ranger.
What you eating, Lawrence?
Burger.
I'm Anthony.
My name is James.
I'm Layla.
I'm Alice. My name is Hannah Shelley.
And I'm a horse ranger.
We're all horse rangers!
Yeah!
The Horse Rangers is a youth organisation. I believe it to be the second biggest youth organisation in Surrey.
I think it was mainly aimed towards the children who are from underprivileged backgrounds, and I am one of those children. When I started at the age of 8, and I came from a council house background.
They don't have horses of their own and probably no chance of access to horses.
Or even for them to go to a sort of commercial riding stable, it would be a lot more expensive.
In riding school, you just learn how to ride. Like here we get to learn how to look after them as if we're going to have our own. So it's the good and bad part of horsemanship.
And it's also a registered charity for riding for disabled.
But what I like about horse rangers, it's a lot more than just the riding that they come here for.
This is fantastic. Being able to come to a gymkhana. Most of the girls have camped out at night. You know, they spent the weekend here in the mud and the wet.
We are now going to do the fancy dress in the main arena. That's going to be happening very shortly. So that's the fancy dress in the main arena, and we carry on with dog classes in the second arena.
My little girl Kate's just about to do the bending race. Kate is not an independent walker, so she needs 2 people either side of her to get to the horse in the first place. Then it takes at least 3 of us to get her on the horse, and by the time she's got up there she starts to relax and smile.
Well done, Kate, that is brilliant.
And it's very difficult for her to sit up, and you can see the difference that it actually makes. She has to think about her physio and think about her core stability, and it makes her do things that she doesn't do in a wheelchair.
So for Kate, you can see how delighted she was sitting there, and the fact that she had to do a race and there was a challenge, and she could have fallen off. That's always in the back of everybody's mind. There's a sense of excitement and fear, and we all need to feel a bit of fear, and you just don't feel fear if you're sitting in a wheelchair.
It's an opportunity for her to be above everybody else for a change, rather than everyone having to look down on her. She actually looks down on somebody else for 45 minutes.
You get very little feedback from them. And I've had helpers saying, oh, why are we doing this? You know, so-and-so, we've got nothing back from them. And then suddenly they'll smile. And that makes it all worthwhile.
Well, for James, it helps. Because James is autistic and he's got ADHD. And it just helps sort of self-control. And it just gives him an awful lot of pleasure. I think this bonding with animals is quite an important thing as well.
The people that run horse ranges, most of them are volunteers. They have amazing compassion and understanding of children with special needs.
These are people who have got golden hearts who work here and help us, James's days as well. These people, they just give so much.
Well, best condition on tenor is when you look after them all day long, wake them up in the morning, feed them, you groom them all day, make sure they're all happy.
And a lot of people would say, well, you know, they're only kids, they're only doing it sort of piecemeal. I would put the standard of turnout of these kids level with Household Cavalry, Metropolitan Mounted Police turnout. They are superb, they work hard, the horses absolutely gleam, and you can't do that in 5 minutes.
Pushing forward, pushing forward, pushing. Yes! Just been watching jumping for Squadron 4, and this particular race has been sponsored on behalf of my daughter, Charlotte Critchlow, who died a few months ago from leukemia, but she's been a horse ranger for 10 years. We moved to Kingston when she was quite small, and she didn't want to go to do the normal thing like brownies. She was mad on horses, so we had her name down on the waiting list for about 4 years before we actually got her in. She even did her work experience here for school. It was her life. She was going to go on to Merriswood and do an equine business studies, so it was very, very important to her. She's actually on the front page of the newsletter for Horse Rangers, this one that's just come out. And even when she was very ill towards the end, the doctors used to let her out just to go for a ride because they knew that that's what she wanted. So Horse Rangers, we've got a lot to thank for because they made her happy.
this is all the badges that you have to start off with. The stars, yeah, they say how many years you've been.
I don't have all my stars on, but that's some of my stars. I'm supposed to have 8, but...
And when you're there for 5 years, you
get a 5-star. There, she's got a 5-star.
That's my intermediate badge.
And this means you're a Lance Corporal.
And that's a corporal, 2 stripes.
This one you also get when you start, just to show you another horse ring. And then have you got any tenderfoot badges?
We're going to go again, yeah.
Then that's my junior tenderfoot badge.
It goes tenderfoot, intermediate, silver spur, golden spur, and then you can't go any further, you're like an officer. So that's silver spur, and then I'm doing golden spur at the moment.
Company badge, band badge.
This is in you're saying you're in D company. David, look! That says you've passed your tenderfoot.
It's basically the same as the girls, really.
We're constantly fundraising. The musical ride brings in some money.
Children like Kate, everything is so expensive in life. All their equipment's expensive, their therapy's expensive. Horse rangers provide something that's really achievable to do.
If there's anybody that is interested in the youth of today and wishes to fund it, then obviously it's an expensive business keeping 30 horses.
So when you see our children ride, it makes you smile and it makes you realise the opportunities that these children get that they never get in a mainstream society.
They've got the discipline, they've got the sharing, they've got the companionship of each other, and then they've got the love of a horse.
The encouragement, the whole Horse Rangers Association, the way they encourage you and boost your morale, is that's worth anything to any child.
These kids are well on their way to a stable life and an adultship that they will one day look back on and say, well, it all started with Horse Rangers. They put me on the straight and narrow, and I thank them for that.